I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? Is it good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody out there watching. Welcome to the premier Knicks in the Morning Time show, the Knicks Morning Drive. I'm your host, the number one chief, Rock Uncle Freezy, and let's get it. Let's get it. If you are out there on the open road, be safe, and I'm glad you are listening. If you are in your cubicle, shuffling papers, getting ready to get on these phones, get ready to do your customer-facing work, man, I hope y'all have a productive week. Torres, what's good? Everybody out there watching that may not be commenting, salute to y'all. If y'all can help us get to our goal of 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, man, we definitely appreciate that, man. Want to start trying to grow the channel, be more consistent, with the shows and such. Bo Ismail, man, what's good? Good morning. Good morning. It's a great morning. Beautiful outside today. The Knicks won last night. It's a beautiful day, man. I hope y'all have an exceptional week. So we're going to talk that talk the way that we like to have that talk to us, right? So we're going to talk that talk the way that we like to have that talk to us. And I want to help you get your day started, man. Get your energy all the way up, man. Get your energy up. So I ended last night's show on a feeling weird, man. After I clicked the button, I was like, dang, man, I was talking as if we didn't even win. We won. We beat Minnesota. That's impressive. Beating the Minnesota Timberwolves is impressive. And we should be excited about that. That was the alarm clock going off. The alarm is saying, that's my joint. LTD is actually the snooze. Man, 7:30 got here, man, and I was looking in the ceiling, and I was like, man. And the reason why I got to shift my schedule around to like 7:30, things like that, is because I'm a mid-shift worker, now. So I'm working like to 7:30. Sometimes it'll be later than that. Sometimes it'll be 9:30. So I had to shift the day around a little bit. So if I sound as if I'm not into it, I'm into it. I'm just making the adjustment. Just trying to get used to the new schedule. So yeah, man. Andrew Collinger, good morning, man. Good morning. What's good, man? Collinger says Minnesota Vikings. Okay. Okay. Are you a Vikings fan? That's interesting. Son from Brooklyn, what's good? Salute to Brooklyn, New York. All my people in man, I ain't been to Brooklyn. I hadn't been to Brooklyn in like 20, 25 years. I ain't been to Brooklyn in a long time. I need to make a trip next spring to Brooklyn and just hang out there for a week or so. I need to hang out in Brooklyn, right? Just go hang out, see the spot, man. Flatbush, East New York, Canarsie, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, Williamsburg, Red Hook, Coney Island. Man, there are so many different parts to Brooklyn, man, and people are so different. And all Dumbo, man, yeah, yeah. I hadn't been to Brooklyn in so long. It's always been one of my favorite places. Not necessarily because of things, but because of people are so proud of Brooklyn. Like the people from there. Yo, Uzi E, what's good? What's good? Uzi E in the building. Salute. Representing We Talk Mavs. Those are our guys, bro. Those are my guys, man. Me and Rel are kind of tight, man. That's my brother. Nowadays, of course, this time of year, the both of us are gonna be super busy. So we don't necessarily get a chance to get together and kick it, but that's my guy. Yo, the son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Salute. Good mornings. Good mornings. Son says, the neighborhood, but yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a lot of little spots, man. I gotta start showing love to Brooklyn more often. My reflex is to not say the word Brooklyn because there's a basketball team that occupies that space, but I keep forgetting that's not really the Brooklyn representative. They're just what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use an offensive word like the I don't want to call them the gentrification nets, right? I don't want to call them that. I don't want to call them the gentrification nets. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but yeah, they're I don't think they're really Brooklyn. So yeah, man. So what's on you guys' mind? What's on your mind? Andrew Collins J says Alan Page is my favorite player, first defensive MVP, now Minnesota Supreme Court Justice. Interesting him. Yeah, I like him. And I don't know which one of those guys played for the Bears also. One of the purple people eaters actually also played for the Chicago Bears. I don't think it's Alan Page. Yeah, it is Alan Page. Alan Page actually played 4 years with the Bears. That's him. Yeah. He actually played 4 years with the Bears, helping us set up our 46 defense. Yeah. And Son says Devo and Brick Brunson going at it last night. Yeah, man. I think Dante is hurt by that trade, man. It seemed like a backstab, bro. The Dante thing, and listen, the Dante thing, Okay, I feel for Dante, right? Because when Dante, remember, Dante signed a contract, took less money to come to New York. Dante could have got way more money than that on the open market. When everybody was getting 12 million, I mean, I'm sorry, when everybody was getting 21, 22 million dollars, Dante DiVincenzo took less money. Remember, we squeezed him into an exception in order to get him in play with Josh and Dante, and maybe promised him Macau. And then after 1 year, he's traded. So if you're Dante, of course you're emotionally hurt, right? Cowboy Bob is in the building. Salute. King Imbert is in the building. Salute to all the members. Sorry I didn't do a members show this week. I didn't do a members show this week because our power went out, and it wasn't like a big thing. It was like in our area, just um um a random transformer or something going out. And so I didn't get a chance to set anything up or anything. So I'm gonna talk about that just for a few minutes. Pastor Jay is in the building. Salute. So I want to speak about that briefly, right? Because I think what happens is we say stuff like that, like sports is a business. We say sports is a business, but we forget about the human element. Businesses are ran by humans. Humans aren't ran by business. I understand. I understand what people are gonna say. Nah, man, business comes first. Business, and blah blah blah. One of these days, y'all, I'm gonna get Miss Mocha to do to co-host a show with me. One of these days, I'm just gonna get her. I'm gonna get Miss Mocha to co-host a show with me. She probably ain't even know what's coming and going, but at the same time, you know. But to the point that I was making, everybody, and I want y'all to hear me clearly on this one. I know a lot of times when we have a lot of panelists, I have to speak in bites, and sometimes those bites will get misconstrued. Like for instance, I got a reminder in the comments about nitpicking Josh Hart. I'm not nitpicking Josh Hart. I think when you speak in bites and people jump in, you don't really get to elaborate, right? Right? You don't really get to elaborate because others want to share the microphone too. I don't mind sharing the microphone, right? But the Josh Hart thing, the Josh Hart point I was making, and I'm going to get to the trade, but I just want to give an example, right? The example is me saying Josh Hart needs to shoot in order for the floor to be balanced. I'm not saying Josh Hart is a bad player. I'm not saying that he's not a starter. I believe Josh Hart is a starter. I just believe that everybody on the floor, in order for our offense to work, everybody has to be a threat at the same time. And when you eliminate one of those threats, the closer you get back to the Julius Randle looking offense. And the closer you get to the Julius Randle looking offense, the more you think, well, why did we even do the trade? Right. And that's what I'm looking to avoid or not get to. Right. But the Dante thing, first of all, are there any Dante DiVincenzo fans in the chat? Are you a Dante DiVincenzo fan? I am. I'm a Dante fan, right? I just like him. I like Dante. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat, and then I'm gonna get in my bag about Dante, about the trade, and about Dante, and about Randall, and about Cat. Let me find a shareable link. Okay, get a shareable link. Go here. All right. Waiting for my page to load. All right. So I'm going to create a poll, right? And here is the poll. The poll is: are you a fan of the Cat, or are you a fan of the Randall and Dante for Cat trade? Are you a fan of the Randall and Dante for Cat trade? All right, so I'm putting the poll in it. So the obvious answers are no and yes. So I just started the poll. So y'all should see the poll. So you should see the poll in the chat now, right? So I'm going to speak to the Cat for Julius Randle and Dante thing. All right. So while personally I am not a fan of the Randle and Dante for Cat trade. It seemed to me to be unfair that both of my heartstrings were jettisoned for one player. Right? It seemed to me to not be fair. At the same time, I do understand why the trade was made. This team hit a ceiling. This team hit a ceiling with Julius and some others. And in order for us to break through that ceiling, we had to bring in a superior talent. Now, mind you, superior talent and superior player aren't the same thing. Right? Right? Superior talent and superior player aren't the same thing, right? Because if you look at it in theory, is Jimmy Butler a superior talent? No. Jimmy Butler is average athletic ability, a slightly above average strength, a slightly average to above average on everything except the mental part where he is a rock. Jimmy Butler is a mental rock, right? When the moment gets too big for some people, it's right in Jimmy Butler's comfort zone. Jimmy Butler is like a fighter pilot. When you see him on the street, they look like an average dude, but they have nerves of steel. It's the difference between Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has the fighter pilot gene. Most people don't. Most people don't. Right? If you're talking about physical talent, Trevor Lawrence is more physically gifted than Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow has the Tom Brady feel to him that most people don't have. And that's what Jimmy Butler has. If you ask the question, who's more physically gifted, Jimmy Butler or Anthony Edwards? Both are going to go to the Hall of Fame. Both are Hall of Fame type players, right? Both are Hall of Fame caliber players right now, right? But without a doubt, we know Anthony Edwards is the more physically gifted player. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And so why am I talking about Jimmy Butler, the Jimmy Butlers, the Jimmy Connors? Y'all remember Jimmy Connors? What's the difference between the Jimmy Butlers, the Tom Brady's, the Jimmy Connors of the world? They have a certain mental and emotional gene that a lot of players don't have. Right? And so when the Knicks traded for Karl Anthony Towns, I knew what the purpose of the trade was immediately. The purpose of the trade was not to jettison players that we loved. The purpose of the trade was to bring in exceptional talent. It was to bring in exceptional talent. And as much as I love Julius Randle, he is not Karl Anthony Towns talented. Right? As much as I love Julius Randle, man. That's my guy. Right? That's my guy. Julius is my guy. Y'all notice I've been fighting for Julius Randle for 5 years. Right? Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm not just on the Randle bandwagon because the Knicks are good or because the Knicks were good with him. I loved Julius Randle as soon as he signed here. As soon as he signed here, I was like, yep, that's my guy. When everybody was laughing at their press, when Kemba Walker was laughing at us, and Kemba Walker said in his press conference, I'll never forget this. It's the reason why I didn't accept Kemba when he was here. Kemba Walker said in his press conference, he would have thought about signing with the Knicks if the Knicks had signed Kevin Durant, drafted Zion, signed Jimmy Butler, and signed Kyrie Irving. He would have thought about it. That's what he said in his press conference in 2019. I'll think about it. I would have thought about it if they'd have had Zion, KD, Jimmy Butler, and Kyrie Irving. And to Julius Randle's credit, Julius Randle wanted to come to New York all along. Like when you think back to it, there was no Julius Randle to Chicago, right? There was no Julius Randle to Dallas. There was none of that. It was one team wanted Randle, and Randle wanted that one team. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know the Knicks wanted Kevin Durant. I know they wanted Kyrie Irving. I understand that. I think Julius Randle was coming anyway. I always felt like Julius Randle was going to be the third player in that package, like Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and Julius Randle is what I thought was going to happen. And maybe I'm looking at Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo through heart-colored glasses. Maybe they're not as good as what we think, right? But in my mind, you can't tell me any different. Yes, I love Dante DiVincenzo. And you're not going to change my mind. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. I love Dante. I love Julius. Right? And I know they say the thing, once a Knick, always a Knick. I don't know who made that up. I don't believe that to be true. I don't have that feeling. I think some people signed here to get a check. The check was on Friday. They were at the bank cashing checks, and So when I hear Michael Beasley talk, I'm like, I don't care nothing about Michael Beasley. And I know people say once a Knick, always a Knick. I don't care nothing about Michael Beasley, right? I don't care nothing about Derek Williams. I don't care about certain guys. I care about Dante. I cared about Julius. But if you think I care, and I'm a random, right? To the NBA players, Uncle Freezy is a random internet guy, whatever. I'm a random, right? This is what I am to them. I'm a random, right? But you could tell last night that Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo being back in Madison Square Garden hurt them. But they're professional. Kerry Cox says, I keep quiet about the trade. I'm not giving anybody any flowers until we win a championship. Okay. Does that include the players that were traded away, though? Or were you going to keep quiet on them because they didn't win a championship? That's the conundrum we're in. The conundrum we're in is, man, time is flying, or either I have a lot to talk about. Man, it's 8:20 already. It's 8:20 in the morning. Salute everybody getting on your way. Salute to everybody that's already hit the clock. 8:20 in the morning. It's your main man, the number one chief rock, Uncle Freezy, coming through, talking that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Be safe out there on your way to work. Be safe at work. Have a great morning. Have a great morning. Let's get your week off to a great start. But on this Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo trade for Karl Anthony Towns, I'm in a place where I feel as if those guys legitimately feel backstabbed by Jalen Brunson. Miguel P in the building. King Ember, what's good? For the love of the game is in the building. Salute. Yeah, tell him, Kerry Cox, the son of the legend, is says, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Make sure y'all help us get to that goal of 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Not just me, but all the good content creators out there, man. We need y'all support. Want to continue to grow. Want to continue to put the time, be able to put the time in. Right. Right. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. On a personal note, this is my absolute busiest time of the year. Right. The reason why I can hang out during the summer is because this time of year is my busiest time of year. But I decided to make a personal commitment to y'all, right? And not that y'all owe anything, right? But I think we have a good thing going on here, right? The channel, it don't pay any bills or anything like that. It's just a place for us free thinkers to come hang out and talk about the Knicks in a judgment-free zone. Except Cowboy Bob at times. We'll have to judge Cowboy Bob. My guy, salute the Cowboy Bob. I think he's still in the chat. I hope he's still in the chat. Yeah. So my thing is I honestly feel as if Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo feel blindsided and hurt by the trade. Right. And I feel like it's one of those things where they were made a promise and the promise wasn't kept in the name of, hey, man, it's a business. I don't believe there's ever a time to be dishonest. Ever. Right? To me, there's never a time to be dishonest. I don't believe, y'all already know the term, right? I call it shooting the gas, right? You ain't gotta, I don't think there's ever a time for someone to shoot you the gas. Hey, Julius, take less money on this extension, and then next time we'll look out for you. We want to build a championship. Okay. Those two things are true, right? Those two things are true. But what they didn't say is, yeah, you're not gonna be here for the championship. You're not gonna be here for the championship. And yes, we're going to use that money that you left on the table to get more talent. I think that the trade in itself is a win for the Knicks. The trade in itself is a win for all the people that praise the calculator. All the people that praise the calculator, that all those the analytics guys that you know who they are. Y'all know I'm not one of them, right? I'm the basketball guy. I want to talk about what's happening on the court, right? I don't want to sound like a front office guy. Right? Right. I don't want to sound like the calculator, because the thing is with the calculator guys, the thing is about the calculator guys is this. The thing is about the calculator guys, they don't have an emotion. They have an irregular emotion tied to sports. If you're watching sports and all you see is dollar signs everywhere, you're not enjoying sports like most fans. Most fans tie themselves to a normal human being doing alien type stuff, right? It's the reason why the sneakers you wear, the sneakers that you wear have the essence of a human being on it. The silhouette of a man doing a slam dunk. That's the essence of a man that you're attached to, regardless who it is, whether it's N1 or Shaq or Jordan. You are tying yourself to a human being. You're not tying yourself to a dollar sign. The reason why people say Jordan is the GOAT, because they are Jordan fans. They're not Jerry Krause fans. And I think there is a clear and distinct boundary that we should be careful of. Son, thank you for the generous contribution. Says most Knicks fans were upset with Devo being in the trade because of what he embodied. I like the trade, but we cannot dismiss the human element. Absolutely. 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 Now, am I blaming the front office for the move that they made? No. The thing is, with me, though, you can't promise Dante that you're going to try to win a championship in New York with his college teammates, and then 1 year into it, trade him away. I think that's slimy. right? And the Julius Randle part, for those, I understand everybody's not a Julius Randle fan, right? I understand that. I understand everybody's not a Julius Randle fan. Julius Randle is not for everybody, right? I get it. Julius Randle is like pork chops. The people that love pork chops swear by him. The people that don't, they're like, yeah, I'd rather have a steak. If I'm gonna have a cut of meat that thick, man, I'd rather just have steak. That's how some people are. That's how some people are. Keith Turner says everybody isn't a Cat fan either. Yeah. For the love of the game is in the building. Salute. He said, did you hear Clyde say that Randall didn't want to come off the bench? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. But at the same time, if you're an all-star, why would you? OG Anunoby is not an all-star. Mikal Bridges is not an all-star. Why would you want to come off the bench? I think Clyde, though, overspoke a few times last night. I think Clyde may be at that point where, and Clyde, Starks, and Pat Ewing are my favorite Knicks all time. Michael Ray Richardson is also up there. Melo is up there. You know, Randall is up there for me. So my thing is, SF Wisdom is in the building. Salute. All right, everybody. It's 8:30 in the morning. It's 8:30. I hope you make it safely to work. If you're not at your desk, hope you make it to your desk safely. Hope you have a productive day. Right? So the trade, I'm not even gonna lie to you. There are so many layers to this trade, man, that there are so many layers to this trade that if you're just a human being and just talking about the trade, then there's the human element of all this stuff. Right? Like Julius Randle becoming an all-star in New York is not because Julius Randle got full support from all Knicks fans. Julius Randle became an all-star despite the weird, at times, despite the weird fan base. Let me just say that in general. Tay Mack in the building. Julius Randle did everything a professional athlete can do for a city and still wasn't accepted, despite the fact that he took this franchise basically and dragged it out of the mud. Basically. The same people in this chat, I used to see them in places like Nothing But Knicks when I used to be a panelist on Nothing But Knicks. Just come through, hang out with Sim, talk that talk, right? The same group of people basically were saying how frustrated they were with the Knicks organization, how the Knicks needed to hit a home run in the lottery. There were a lot of y'all praying that we got Zion when Zion was in college, when Zion was at Duke. I was one of them. I was one of them praying that we got the ping pong ball that brought Zion Williamson to New York. Praying for Zion. And there were some saying, well, if we don't get Zion, at least we'll get Ja. I wanted RJ Barrett the whole time. But Zion, you can't pass up on Zion, bro. And full disclosure, man, people are telling me that Zion's my cousin. So, and I never met him before. So I never met him before. But Keith Turner says, but Freezy, you wasn't a fan of the Jalen Brunson signing? What are you saying? Are you wait a minute, but you wasn't a fan? I don't understand what you're saying. Are you screaming that at me like, yo, you wasn't a fan of Jalen Brunson? Or are you asking me a question? Like, was I a fan of the Jalen Brunson signing? So, but the point, the reason why I bring up Zion is not because, the reason why I brought up Zion is not because of him and Tibbs together, right? The reason why Knicks fans they built an altar to Zion is because Zion Williamson and Ja Morant are exceptional talents, right? Exceptional talent doesn't necessarily mean exceptional player, right? Exceptional talent is the point that I was making. Right? That's what I felt like. I feel like the trade for Cat is about upgrading talent, combining talent into one elite body. Right? That's what it's about. Keith Turner says when we first was going after Brunson, you didn't like it. I don't know if I'm gonna say that. I was maybe more neutral to it. Well, I guess that means I didn't like it, because if I didn't hate it and I didn't like it, I guess that means, you know what I'm saying? I guess so. But the thing is with that though, we broke down Jalen Brunson tape all summer, and Jalen Brunson proved on tape he was a pick and roll maestro. And y'all know we were running the pick and roll with Alec Burks, and adding Jalen Brunson, just plugging Jalen Brunson into that Alec Burks spot was an improvement for the Knicks. And also on that point about the Jalen Brunson signing, y'all know I believe spiders belong in New York, bro. Y'all know that Queens, New York needs a superhero, a spider. Y'all know that. Y'all remember me talking about that? How New York needs a superhero? New York needs a spider. Anybody remember that? No, nobody remembers that narrative. Okay, all right. That's one of the things I spoke to. Put that out there a lot, right? But here's the thing. Back on the trade thing, and I feel like the more that I dig into this thing, the more I uncover. More that I dig into this thing, the more that I uncover. I think the Randall trade for Dante and Julius was unfair. Now, will their checks clear? Of course, their checks gonna clear. Of course, they still gonna be. Oh, listen, these dudes are rich and handsome and powerful and all these different things. Of course, these dudes in the long term, these dudes will be just fine. In the short term, I think you broke Dante's heart when you traded him. I think they legit broke Dante DiVincenzo's heart when they traded him. And I know a man ain't supposed to cry. I get it. I get it. I already know what y'all gonna say. Man, he's still getting paid, right? He's still playing ball, man. Most people, he living his dream. Yeah. But when you tell that man, yo, come to New York for less money, and we're gonna try to win a chip with you, and then 1 year in, you trade that man away to a place where he would have never signed on his own. That's some low down shit right there. That's dirty. And I know people are going to say, it's a business. He didn't have to take the money with the Knicks. No, he didn't have to. They sold him on a thing, and then they shifted. Now Dante is playing his formidable years on a very, very budget contract that was intended for the Knicks. Now he's in Minnesota and can't get out of that contract. Now, mind you, I know what people are going to say. Well, he in the contract now. He got to make the best of it. Sure. Right? Sure. But I think it's a snake oil salesman type move. At the same time, did the front office really want to trade Dante? No. Did they really want to trade Randall? No. But could you pass up the opportunity to get Cat? No. No, you can't. You can't. 8:40 in the morning, everybody. If you got somewhere to be in 20 minutes, hurry up. Be safe, but hurry up. If you got some place to be at the top of the hour, you might want to get a move on. Be safe, though. Be safe. So I think as I peel back the layers on the trade, I talk about the Dante thing, the Julius thing. I think it's one of those things as human beings, you have to accept certain consequences. The parts that you can't change, you just got to accept them. And that's a weird way to live life. Accept stuff that you can't change, right? Accept stuff that you can't change. The thing is, ultimately, you get Karl Anthony Towns because in the playoffs, if you saw the teams that were winning in the playoffs, all the teams that were winning in the playoffs were the opposite of what the Knicks were doing. Andios is in the building. Salute. SF Wisdom says, I think Tibbs won it more than anybody. Yeah, Cat is his guy. And for what Dante was saying at the free throw line, Tibbs didn't believe in him to finish games. Okay. If you notice that game 7, though, in that game 7 against Indiana, Dante was the one stepping up. And they kept taking the ball out of Dante's hands. Dante DiVincenzo, if they'd have kept going to Dante, I believe we had a real shot to win game 7 against Indiana. Right? When Dante hit those 2 heat checks back-to-back in the third quarter, one of them, he was wide open, and the other, he was smothered, and he hits it anyway. You're like, okay. Jalen Brunson doesn't have it because Jalen Brunson is here on remember Jalen Brunson was on an injured right foot, right? Injured right foot. And you bring Brunson and Deuce back in, and they I don't want to say shoot us out of the game, but the game gets away from them. Let me just say it like that. The game gets away from them. But Alec Burks was cooking. Keith Turner says, are we watching the same game? Clearly not. Clearly. Because if you thought Dante couldn't have gone for 50 in that game 7, you saw a different game. If you didn't think Alec Burks could have went for 25 in that game, clearly we saw a different game. Clearly. It was a bunch of us watching the same game on playback TV. We were watching the game on playback TV, and Jalen Brunson was cooking. Jalen Brunson was cooking. Oh, boy. Let me break some. Okay. Are you a fan of the Randall and Dante for cat trade? 53% of you guys is saying yes. So for the ones that are not fans of the trade, you are in the minority. Wow. I did not see that coming. I ain't gonna lie to you. Did not see that coming. If you have not voted thus far, you need to get your vote out there, be heard. Hit the like button, click the vote, right? Because what's going to happen is I have to take this as law. If the majority says, listen, if the majority says they're for the trade, then the ones that are not for the trade, I just have to, y'all just got to accept it. The fans have spoken. The fans have spoken. Oh, wow. The needle is moving more in the yes direction. Wow. If you haven't voted yet, if you hadn't hit the like button, do both. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to look at the return. I'm going to look at the results about 5 minutes to 9. About 5 minutes from the top of the hour, I'm going to look at the results and speak to that a little bit. But as of right now, there are 51 votes, and the yeses have it right now. No's. If for all the no's, y'all better get out there and vote. Let your voice be heard. And yeses, if you want to maintain your lead, you better do something. Pastor Jay says Uncle Freeze is the GOAT with predicting quality draft prospects. Ryan Dunn will be a phenomenal. Hey. Right. I wanted Ryan Dunn, Pacom Dadier, and the guy in Toronto, Shamshi. I think he's going to be the next Pascal Siakam, y'all. I think Shamshi is going to be the next Pascal Siakam, except bigger and maybe a little more athletic, but less skilled than Siakam. I think Shamshi can be a taller, more athletic version of Julius Randle. What if Randall was 6'11" and could jump? That's what I think Shamshi is going to be. But you're going to have to wait for that to cook, though. Tom from Huntington in the building. Salute. Salute. Torres in the building. Salute. Says this trade had to be done. Randall was not willing to sign at our dollar amount. The fact we got a better player for him is a win. Losing Dante hurts, but his position is easier to fill than a modern big. I agree with all of that, right? Because for one, you can't tell Julius Randle to take a discount 2 times in a row. You can't be like, yo, my man, take a discount this time. We got you next time. Nah, you said that last time. You said that last time, bro. You gotta be at your word. At some point, bro. At some point, y'all. This can't be about, look out for us now and we'll look out for you on the back end. Yeah, that's called screwing people. Now, I can't blame the front office for doing what they're trying to do. All I'm saying is maybe a different strategy for signing people is going to be the approach going forward. And looking at the Macau, if you're Macau Bridges, right? If you're Macau Bridges and you just saw what happened to Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. If you're Macau Bridges and you just saw what happened to Dante, are you going to commit to this front office long term? I think. So Kerry Cox says the cat contract kills us. I don't know, bro. I think it's the OG contract. The OG contract is the one. The OG Anunoby contract is gonna be potentially the one, right? Because if they're shopping Mitch because Mitch can't stay on the floor, imagine the justification if OG Anunoby gets hurt and he's the second highest paid player on the team. And imagine if OG gets hurt and now you have to start Deuce, Josh, Macau, Cat, and Brunson together. OG is the one. OG Anunoby has to stay healthy and he has to earn all that money. Now, will he do it? Absolutely, he will. Absolutely. Absolutely, he will. So it was 8:51 in your morning. If you have somewhere to be at 9 o'clock, you better hurry up. It's 8:51 in the morning. If you have somewhere to be at 9 Eastern time, you better hurry up. 9 minutes or 8 minutes to the hour. So we have 3 minutes left on the poll, right? We have 3 minutes left on the poll. So if you have not gotten your votes in now, you better do so. The yeses seem to be running away with it. 59 votes. 54% of you say yes. You're a fan of the Randle and Dante for Cat trade. Kerry Cox says, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, man. How about them Giants, man? Did the Giants win last night? I didn't get a chance to check. Because the Knicks played last night. The Mets played last night. Man, we did a show last night. Man, try to get some sleep in. And Wisdom says, are we going to talk about Josh Hart not getting one shot attempt in 3 games? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Josh Hart, though. I think that's on Josh. Torres says the Cowboys are being themselves. Yeah, the Cowboys are being themselves, bro. The Cowboys are being themselves, basically. Right? The Cowboys are being themselves. All right, so for the love of the game says no. I guess that means the Giants didn't win. Ooh. So Torres says Precious is low-key the best development in preseason. He seems very usable on this team, start, bench, whatever Tibbs needs. Yeah, Precious has a very improved handle to y'all. Precious has a very improved handle. My only thing with Precious is, you know what? I'm going to close out with my take on Precious. 65 votes in. And it looked like yes is running away. Right? It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour. I'm going to end the poll. And 5 minutes in. Five minutes in, and the results are 55 to 44%. Yes, the trade was necessary. So I'm gonna, hey, it's 5 minutes to the hour, top of the hour. 5 minutes to the top of the hour. If you have somewhere to be at 9:00, you should already be there. Salute to everybody watching us on X. Please follow us on X. So we're going to try to grow the channel a little bit. This is the first time I did this in like 3 years. Generally let the channel grow on its own and do what it wants to do on its own. But just remember, we're on our journey to 4,000 subscribers. Please help us get to 4,000 subscribers. Once we get to 4,000 subscribers, we're definitely gonna do some type of giveaway. I have a thing I'm working on. I'm gonna do a small giveaway this week. Right, I'm not for sure what it is that I want to do, so I'm gonna do a small one this week. But then next week, at 4,000 subscribers. Hopefully we'll hit that number before Christmas. We'll hit that number before Christmas. But so here's the thing with OG Anunoby. I'm just gonna tuck this in before we get out of here. OG Anunoby. I'm sorry, not OG Anunoby. I'm sorry. Precious Achiuwa. Here's my thing about Precious Achiuwa. Precious is not a starter. Precious Achiuwa is not an NBA starter. And the reason being is because the things that you want an NBA starter to do, Precious Achiuwa has struggled with those things his entire career. For example, finishing at the rim. Precious Achiuwa is terrible at finishing at the rim. for a guy 6'8", 240, and is super athletic. Precious Achiuwa cannot stretch the floor. Precious Achiuwa is not sure-handed. Right. Now, here's the thing. Now those are the cons. The positives for Precious is that he is in peak physical condition. Precious Achiuwa does not run out of energy. Precious Achiuwa never gets hurt. Right? Precious never gets hurt. He's an energy big that never runs out of energy. You don't have to tell Precious to play hard. You don't have to motivate Precious. Right? Precious is one of those dudes you don't have to motivate him. Precious Achiuwa is always going to show up. Right? Precious Achiuwa is always going to show up. Precious Achiuwa is a team player. Precious Achiuwa is a chemistry guy. All the things you need from a player in general, Precious Achiuwa is that. The only thing that you could say about Precious is that, you know what? He doesn't finish at the rim. He doesn't stretch the floor. He's not a consistent offensive guy. He's not a consistent great defensive matchup for most guys because he's an undersized energy big. He's undersized. Precious doesn't offer you elite defense, right? Precious doesn't offer you a lot of things. Is Precious an NBA rotational player? Yes. Is Precious Achiuwa an NBA starter? No. Do I love Precious? Yes. Is Precious one of my favorite Knicks? Yes. But I'd like to see Precious for what he is. I like to see Precious for what he is. I love him because of what he is and what he offers. And that is being an energy big off the bench with some upside in development, but it won't come along fast as what you think. On that note, I'm out of here. Everybody, thank y'all for rocking with me. See y'all tomorrow. Hopefully, Uncle Freezy can get here at 7:45. Hopefully, I'll be here at 7:45. Man, y'all have a great day doing the thing that y'all doing. Peace, y'all.